Why was it wrong on a ginger? Because if you watch, let's see if I can do the slow motion.
Just keep going.
Oh, I'm doing that fast for some reason. Oh, I know. I got it. Anybody know?
That was an
Arch.
Sorry.
Trying to show the viewers that body position for a ginger using a trampoline is not kind
See the chest go out?
exactly the same without the twist.
If you do that on the bar, if you swing, tap, and try to throw lunge, the flyaway on the bar, you will actually slow the gymnast down. Okay. And if you're like this, then you won't know where you are when it's time to catch the bar. Let's figure all that stuff out here on the trampoline first before we try to wrestle them up in the air. We'll do this slow. I'm doing too good. Let's try this. Oop, never mind.
I wonder if the push and play would slow it down. Push and play twice.
That's pretty good, right? Now, here's the body awareness thing. Learning to twist the right direction, that's for another clinic. I have a philosophy about twisting, and it's this. It's real simple. Land, jump half. That's all. I can build people doing quad pulls by the simple rule, land, jump half. And so here, intentionally, I have them landing on the block, and then they jump, half twist. Okay, same thing.
Pop your chest out. Showing a continuation of the ginger on the trampoline, staying tall. Legs come up through the arms. Keep that position till they hit the big pad, and they balance nice all over.
Chest is open, so she's gonna have trouble rotating all the way around.
That's extremely similar to the actual ginger itself. Very safe. You can try it over and over again. And we can work on the body position, the form, without having to have 8 feet in the air to do it.
All right, toe snap up.
Go ahead.
Using the trampoline. Again, there's something, the yellow blobs now become that bar. So if you can imagine being on a low bar, snapping up and trying to catch a high bar. It's just the action. I don't care if it's the actual bar. I don't care if they really get high. I just want the action. I just want the big, broad action that allows them to somehow get it when it's time to actually get on the bar. Some of these girls won't even be using it right now, but still we have it. Shapash Nakova. What's a shapash? And again, that's the weakness of this video. Anyone need a briefing on what a shapash Nakova is? You're on the low bar, okay? So here's the low bar, here's the high bar. And you either clear hip, okay, clear hip off the low bar and catch the high bar, or you do a toe, snap backward, catch the bar, stalder, catch the bar, inward, catch the bar. Now, it's a really cool skill, but the first time you teach it, certainly the first couple of years that I was teaching it, the biggest problem was knowing where you were. Not me, the gymnasts. They would be here, and they'd do a clear hip and launch themselves backward. And then they try to flip forward. They'd be looking for the bar back here, but they'd be looking over here. And meanwhile, you're standing precariously on a mat, and you're balancing, and you're trying to hang on to this kid who's flailing around, trying to figure out where the bar is. Can you imagine that? Can you picture that? I mean, it's really hard. I don't care how big you are. When this kid's flailing all over, it's like, trying to save a drowning kid when you can't swim. So the best thing to do is put it on the trampoline. And that's where the block comes in. So for the people who do know what Shapash Nakova is, does this make sense? Can you guys understand it, right? Makes sense, right? And if that makes sense, then the Shapash half, you'll understand, makes sense as well. let's get the kid to figure out how to do the half twisting right here on the trampoline. Because same problem, if they don't know how to twist in the air on the shapash, and if you're the sole spotter, she's trying to turn one way, you're trying to twist her another way, and both of you all are just flailing, you know, like Dancing with the Stars, kind of. Yeah? But this takes all the muss and fuss out of it. Then when it's time to go, they know where to go. They know that you know where to go. You know that you can get them there by putting your hands in. Okay, so everyone knows this. Everyone knows this. Now let me just give you a little history on this thing. Okay, tumble track is the first one to start putting a bar on the tumble track. And the first time I saw this, I had been using a strap 5 years earlier. I never saw that, but tumble track put this bar up, and we thought, well, that's a cool idea. And it was a cool idea. Here's the problem. It was a bar. You had to spot it. And if you didn't spot it, the gymnast was going to land on the bar. And if the gymnast lands on the bar, what do you think? She's going to cry. And she's going to get hurt. Do you think she's going to do it again? No, she's not. Right? But I used a cargo strap a long time ago on a trampoline. And this is the end result of it. And now tumble track has moved. And because they saw that, Doug and I are good friends. He said, would you mind if I tried to build this and make another bar? I said, no, please go ahead and do this, a contribution to the sport. Now they have this nice rubbery bar to do the same thing, and it gets great action, and the kids can try it by themselves. And coaches, that's the magic. That's the magic. How can you get the kid to do things themselves without you actually being there? That's the magic. That's the secret sauce to gauge gymnastics on bars. So if there's any one of you who are going to be in the clinic, this next clinic at 10 o'clock, that's going to be the theme of that whole clinic, is you want to leverage yourself as a coach. How can you get yourself to get the kids to do it, or to help spot it, or do it by themselves so you don't have to? Well, it's teaching them the building blocks, and it's making sure they don't get hurt so that they're going to try again. Right? That's an important thing. So with this strap, you're going to find out if anyone's ever been, let me tell you this too. I mean, I said, look, why don't you come to my free clinics? They're free. Okay, but if you came to my free clinics, you would see I don't do a lot of this. I hardly do a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? I hardly say, okay, the kid does this, she does it wrong. Oh, no, you did it wrong. Your leg was over here, you need to do it over here. They do it again. Oh, no, you did it wrong. Here, let me show you, get on this side. And then the kid does it again. Oh, no. How many of you coaches have been guilty of that? I've been guilty of it a long time ago, but not anymore. Now I hardly say a thing. What I do is I set them in motion, I give them the big, broad goal, and then I shut up. I just shut up. I just let them go, okay? And they'll figure it out, because you know why? You're not coaching dummies here, okay? In this whole group here, with all the people that you work with on your teams, I'll bet you can count on one hand the real dummies on your team. All the rest of them are just smart, really smart, or they wouldn't be in this sport. So don't treat them like dummies. Treat them like the smart people they are, and give them the opportunity to learn from their mistakes, as long as they don't get hurt. That's your goal as a coach. Okay? So, this is basically this. You bounce handstand, bounce extension, bounce extension, let go, and then pretty soon things happen, and before you know it, over time, they get it. You gotta remember, when you're coaching gymnastics, you don't coach for a final finished product in one day or even 1 week. You coach it for the long term. Okay, you see that much? Let me see it. You coach it for the long term. You set it in front of them and say, here's what I think she's going to learn and what I'd like her to learn in 6 months. You don't say, I'm going to teach it to you in 5 minutes. You give them that opportunity to learn on their own, to make mistakes. Because otherwise, they haven't formed any mental building blocks on their own, inside their brain and inside their body. Inward drill. Again, my terminology may be different from other people. So an inward would be this, okay, a circle. They call it circles on a bar. A circle would be, an example would be clear hip. A circle would be a stalwart. Okay? A circle would be a drop there with your feet together, toe hand, or an inward. You go for a toe hand, right? Your feet are getting to the bar, Oh, they missed the bar. The feet go inside the arms, circle around, back up to a handstand. That's an inward, okay? Handstand, swing through, feet go inside the arms, seat circle, hop to a handstand. So this is just a drill on the trampoline. It's just learning how to figure out how to get their feet inside. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not saying arch. I'm not saying anything. I'm just trying to get the feet inside, find a way to bounce back up. Okay, now look at these blocks here. Because if you go to my clinic at 10 o'clock, you're going to see me talking about this all the time. This, by the way, is a part of a system that I use. It's just FYI. I'm the first one who created the channel bar, and I'm the first one that made that thing happen. And then since then, people start putting it in the ground, people putting it up and doing all kinds of things. But I see a lot of time around the country, a lot of people still don't know how to use this trench, this channel, the way that I designed it, because they don't coach like the way I do. But my 5th generation, this is my 5th generation. These are components of my channel system right now, okay, where I have a base and I have these building blocks that go on top of it. They are uniform, so what the beauty of that is these planks can be placed across a trampoline so you can do things like this. Okay? So just so you know, Tumble Track is interested in looking at this, building this thing, putting it together, putting it in a package. So between this thing called the channel system and the blob, and the cube, you can literally teach every skill on bars, whether you're male, female, strong, weak, fearless gymnast, or fearful gymnast. Delchev, it's a ginger with a straddle. Probably not my favorite skill. I've never actually had one, a gymnast ever use this, because there's a lot of moving parts to this. I think it's a lot easier for ginger. So it's a lot of hard work to get the same value. But here, just showing you, you can make mistakes on the trampoline as you're doing this, and someone might pick it up. And that's the beauty too. Let me just stop for a second. I never discount the fact that somebody can't learn this, but yet they can learn that. Because someone may gravitate to a certain skill more so than another. So you don't pigeonhole everybody. Everybody's got to do this a certain way. Everybody's got to do this a certain way. If you look at Brenda Dow, for instance, she was a big old tumbler, forward and backward, but we hardly had any back tumbling into her routine because she was horrible landing. She was always afraid to land, but she was never afraid to land forward. So we looked at her routine and said, okay, we'll just make the majority of her routine going forward and just meet the minimum requirement that it takes to go backward. So that's just a perfect example on the top end. The deaf. Okay, what's a ginger? Yeah. That's a flyaway, half catch. Okay, everyone know that? Ginger, handstand. Okay, so this is the bar, this is the low bar. Giant, swing. Some people dumb it down and say it's a flyaway, half twist, catch the bar. So this would be a deaf. So you'd be doing a ginger with another full. And here's the trampoline drill.